Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Best English Podcast. My name's Olivia.
And I'm James. It's so great to be with you all again today. We're really excited about today's topic.
We really are. We get so many questions from listeners, and one of the biggest, maybe the biggest, is about listening. Things like, I can read English pretty well, but when someone speaks, my brain just freezes.
Oh, I hear that all the time. Or people speak so fast. They use words I've never seen in my textbook. And you know what? It's completely normal to feel that way.
Absolutely. It's probably the biggest hurdle for most learners. So today, we're going to dive deep into that. We're not just going to give you a list of tips. We're going to talk about how to change your entire mindset around listening. We'll cover how to make it a natural, fun, and super effective part of your daily life.
Exactly. The goal isn't to feel like you're studying. The goal is to make listening to English as normal as listening to music or scrolling through social media. We want to help you turn it from a chore into a habit and even a hobby.
I love that, from a chore into a hobby. That's the perfect way to put it. Because honestly, when you're learning a language, motivation is everything, right? If you're forcing yourself to do something you hate, you're just not going to stick with it.
For sure. Think about it. When you were a baby, you didn't learn your first language by studying grammar books. You just listened. For months and months, you were surrounded by sounds, voices, and conversations. Your brain was just soaking it all in.
That's such a powerful point, James. We forget that our brains are naturally wired to learn language through listening. We just need to give them the right kind of input. The problem is that as adults, we get in our own way. We're so afraid of not understanding every single word.
Oh, the fear. Let's talk about that. The fear of misunderstanding. You're in a conversation, you miss one word, and suddenly your brain just shuts down. You stop listening to the rest of the sentence because you're so focused on that one word you missed. Has that ever happened to you? I know it's happened to me when learning other languages.
Oh my gosh, yes. It's like a panic button goes off in your head, and all you can think is, what did they say? What did that word mean? Oh no, now I'm lost. They think I'm stupid.
Yes, exactly. And the other person just keeps talking and you're just nodding and smiling, but inside you're having a full-on crisis.
It's the worst feeling. So the very first thing we need to do is give ourselves permission to not understand everything. It is okay. I'm a native English speaker, and sometimes I miss words in a conversation if there's background noise or someone has a strong accent. It's not a test.
That's it. It's not a test. It's communication. The goal is to understand the general idea, the main message. Let go of perfection. If you understand 60% or 70% of a conversation, that's a huge win. You can usually figure out the rest from context.
I think this is where the difference between active listening and passive listening comes in. Many learners think that if they just have an English podcast or the news playing in the background while they do chores, they'll magically absorb the language.
Right. That's passive listening. And look, it's not completely useless. It helps you get used to the rhythm, the intonation, the musicality of the language. It's better than nothing, for sure.
It is, but it's not going to move the needle in a big way. It won't dramatically improve your comprehension or your speaking skills. To do that, you need active listening. What does that look like to you, James?
For me, active listening is when you give it your full attention, or at least most of your attention. You're not just hearing the sounds, you're trying to understand the meaning. You're engaged. You're thinking about what's being said.
Exactly. So let's give our listeners some really practical ways to practice active listening. A great place to start is with something short. Don't decide you're going to listen to a 2-hour movie without subtitles on your first day. You'll just get discouraged.
Terrible idea. You'll burn out so fast. Start with something that's maybe 2 to 5 minutes long. A short YouTube video, a clip from a TV show, or a podcast segment like ours.
A perfect example. So you take this short piece of audio, and here's the magic trick. Listen to it more than once. The first time you listen, don't worry about anything. Just listen for the gist. What is the main idea? What is the overall topic?
Just get a feel for it. That's it. No pressure. Then on the second listen, you can start to focus a bit more on the details. Maybe you'll catch some key vocabulary or phrases that you missed the first time. You might think, oh, I see, they were talking about their weekend plans.
Right. And then for the third listen, you can get really active. This is where a transcript is your best friend. A transcript is the written version of the audio. Here at Best English Podcast, we always provide a full transcript for our episodes for this exact reason.
It's a game changer. So on that third listen, you can read along as you listen. This connects the sounds you're hearing with the words on the page. You'll have so many aha moments. You'll say, oh, that's how you pronounce that word. Or, so that's the phrase they were using.
It fills in all the gaps. All those words that sounded like a blur before will suddenly become clear. And you're not just improving your listening, you're improving your vocabulary, your grammar, and your pronunciation all at the same time.
It's so efficient. And once you've done that, you can take it one step further with a technique that I absolutely love. It's called shadowing.
Oh yes, shadowing is amazing. Can you explain what it is for our listeners who might not have heard of it?
Sure. Shadowing is basically listen and repeat. But it's more than that. You try to imitate the speaker as closely as possible, in real time. You're not just copying the words, you're copying the rhythm, the intonation, the ups and downs of the voice, the pauses, and the emotion. You're trying to sound exactly like the person speaking.
It feels a little strange at first, doesn't it? You might feel silly talking to yourself.
It feels very strange. You're basically talking over someone. But it is one of the most powerful ways to improve your fluency and pronunciation. It trains the muscles in your mouth to make the English sounds, and it builds connections in your brain between hearing and speaking.
Let's give a quick example. I'll say a sentence, and James, you try to shadow me. I'll say it at a natural but clear pace. Ready? I think learning a new language is one of the most rewarding things you can ever do.
I think learning a new language is one of the most rewarding things you can ever do. See? I was trying to match your tone and where you put the stress on the words, like rewarding.
That was perfect. And for our listeners, you don't have to get it right the first time. You can pause the audio, repeat the sentence, and then try to do it along with the speaker. It's an incredible workout for your mouth and your ears.
It really is. And all of this, the multiple listens, using a transcript, shadowing, it seems like a lot of work for a 3-minute audio clip. But the progress you make from that focused, active listening is 10 times greater than what you'd get from 3 hours of passive listening.
Quality over quantity. That's the key. 10 minutes of focused, active listening every day is better than an hour of having the TV on in the background while you're not really paying attention.
So true. Okay, so we've talked about the mindset, letting go of perfection, and we've talked about the method, active listening. Now let's talk about the material. What should people be listening to?
This is my favorite part because the answer is whatever you find interesting. This goes back to our point about making it a hobby, not a chore. The English-speaking world produces an unbelievable amount of content on every topic imaginable.
Yes. Don't force yourself to listen to podcasts about economics if you find economics boring. You'll just fall asleep. If you love cooking, find a YouTube channel where a chef teaches you recipes in English.
Great example. If you're into video games, watch gamers on Twitch who stream in English. If you love gardening, there are thousands of podcasts and videos about that. If you're into true crime or history or celebrity gossip.
Careful, Olivia, your interests are showing.
Hey, no judgment. Whatever your passion is, I guarantee you can find content about it in English. When you're genuinely interested in the topic, you're more motivated to understand it. You want to know what they're saying.
That intrinsic motivation is so powerful. It pushes you through the difficult parts. You'll be more willing to look up a word you don't know or re-listen to a section because you actually care about the content.
And it makes learning vocabulary so much more natural. You're not memorizing random word lists. You're learning words that are relevant to your interests. So you're much more likely to remember them and actually use them.
Let's talk about a big one. TV shows and movies. This is what a lot of learners want to do. What's your advice on using them effectively? Specifically, the big question, subtitles or no subtitles?
The great subtitle debate. It's a hot topic. Here's my take. Subtitles are a tool, and you have to use the right tool for the job. If you're watching with subtitles in your own native language, you're not practicing listening, you're practicing reading.
100%. Your brain will take the easy path, and reading in your own language is the easiest path. You'll barely even hear the English. So, step 1, turn off the subtitles in your native language.
But, and this is a big but, using English subtitles can be incredibly helpful, especially at the B1, B2 level. It's like using a transcript, like we talked about earlier. It connects the sounds to the words.
I agree. It can be a great bridge. My recommendation is a multi-step process, similar to what we said about audio clips. First, maybe watch a short scene with English subtitles to make sure you understand what's happening and to pick up new vocabulary.
Then, watch that same scene again, but this time with no subtitles at all. See how much you can understand just by listening. You'll be surprised at how much more you catch now that your brain already has the context.
It's like having training wheels on a bike. The English subtitles help you get your balance, and then you take them off and try to ride on your own. Eventually, you'll be able to watch entire episodes without any subtitles and follow the main plot. You might still miss some jokes or specific details, but you'll be watching and enjoying English language media. How cool is that?
It's the ultimate goal for so many people, to just sit down, relax, and watch a movie in English. And it is totally achievable. You just have to be strategic about it.
Another fun resource is music, listening to songs in English.
Oh, I love this one. But it can be tricky. Singers often don't pronounce words as clearly as someone in a podcast, and the lyrics can be very poetic or abstract.
True, but the repetition is fantastic. You listen to a song you love over and over again, and the emotion in the music helps the words stick in your memory. The best way to do it is to find the lyrics online. Listen to the song while reading the lyrics.
And try to sing along, even if you have a terrible voice like me.
Especially if you have a terrible voice. Singing is a form of shadowing. It forces you to match the rhythm and pronunciation. Plus, you learn so many common idioms and informal expressions from song lyrics.
That's a great point. So we have podcasts, YouTube, TV shows, music. The options are endless. The main takeaway here is to find something you love and make it part of your routine. Maybe you watch a 10-minute YouTube video in English while you have your morning coffee.
Or you listen to an English podcast on your way to work or school. Just 15 or 20 minutes a day. It doesn't have to be a huge time commitment. Consistency is so much more important than intensity.
Consistency is more important than intensity. I want to put that on a t-shirt. It's the golden rule of language learning. Don't study for 5 hours one Sunday and then do nothing for the rest of the week. Do 20 minutes every single day. That daily habit is what builds fluency.
Exactly. It's like going to the gym. You get stronger by going consistently, not by doing one massive workout once a month.
Okay, so we've found our interesting material. We're listening actively every day. But how do we bridge the gap between listening and speaking? How does all this input turn into output?
That is the million-dollar question, because you can become a fantastic listener, but still feel terrified when you have to open your mouth and speak. The knowledge is in your head, but it doesn't come out.
It's called the passive to active vocabulary gap. You can understand thousands of words when you hear them, but you can only produce a few hundred when you speak. The goal is to move words from that passive bank into the active bank.
And the only way to do that is, and I know this might sound scary, you have to speak. But you don't have to start by talking to native speakers. You can start by talking to yourself.
Yes, I am the biggest fan of talking to yourself. It is a zero pressure, no judgment way to practice. You can do it anywhere. When you're at home, just describe what you're doing. Okay, now I'm making coffee, I'm getting the mug from the cupboard, I'm adding a little bit of milk.
It sounds so simple, but it's brilliant. You are activating the vocabulary you already know. You're forcing your brain to produce the language. You can also summarize things. After you watch that YouTube video, pause and try to explain the main points out loud to yourself. So the video was about a guy who traveled to Japan. First, he went to Tokyo and he visited.
And this is where your listening practice directly helps your speaking. You can start to use the phrases and sentences that you heard in the podcast or video. You can steal them.
I love the idea of stealing phrases. It's not really stealing, it's learning. When you're listening, pay attention to the little phrases people use to connect their ideas. Things like, at the end of the day, or as a matter of fact, or that reminds me of.
Or even simpler things, like how people agree with each other. Instead of just saying yes, they say, for sure, definitely, you got it, no doubt. When you hear these, make a note of them. Literally, write them down in a notebook or on your phone.
And then your mission is to try to use one of them. The next time you're talking to yourself, or if you have a language partner, try to use one of your stolen phrases. The first time, it will feel a little unnatural, but after a few times, it becomes part of your own active vocabulary.
This is how you start to sound more natural. Textbooks teach you grammatically correct English, which is important, but listening to real conversations teaches you how people actually talk. We use a lot of phrasal verbs, for example.
Oh, phrasal verbs are everywhere. A phrasal verb is a verb plus a preposition or an adverb, and together they have a special meaning. For example, we don't usually say, I will collect you at 8 p.m. We say, I'll pick you up at 8 p.m.
Or if something is canceled, we say it was called off. If you postpone something, you put it off. You will almost never learn these naturally from a grammar book. You learn them by hearing them over and over in context.
And that's why listening is so crucial. When you hear, I need to figure out how to solve this problem, you understand from the context that figure out means to find a solution. You absorb it naturally.
Let's also talk about something that learners worry about but shouldn't. Filler words.
Ah, yes, the ums and uhs.
And the likes, you knows, learners often think they need to eliminate these to sound fluent. But the truth is, native speakers use them all the time.
All the time. They are not mistakes. They are tools. We use them to give ourselves a moment to think, to hold our turn in a conversation, or to soften what we're about to say.
Exactly. So if you're speaking and you need a second to find the right word, it is completely natural to say, I think we should go to the restaurant on the corner. It sounds much more natural than just standing there in complete silence.
So don't worry about them. As you listen more, you'll get a feel for how and when to use them. They're part of the music of conversational English.
I love that. The music of conversational English. It really is like music. It has a rhythm, a flow, and intonation. And the more you listen, the more you internalize that music. It starts to become second nature.
So let's try to summarize our key ideas for our listeners. A kind of action plan.
Great idea. Okay, step 1, change your mindset. Let go of the need to be perfect. Embrace the fact that you won't understand every word, and that's okay. The goal is communication, not perfection.
Step 2, prioritize active listening over passive listening. Set aside at least 10 to 15 minutes every single day for focused practice. Find a short piece of audio and listen to it multiple times.
Step 3, use a transcript. Read along as you listen to connect the sounds with the words. This will do wonders for your comprehension and pronunciation. And after that, try shadowing to improve your fluency and rhythm.
Step 4, find content that you genuinely love. Make it fun. If you're interested in the topic, you'll learn faster and be more motivated to stick with it. Turn your English practice from a chore into a hobby.
And step 5, bridge the gap to speaking. Start by talking to yourself to activate your vocabulary. Steal useful phrases you hear and practice using them. Don't worry about filler words, they're a natural part of speech.
And through all of this, the most important thing is to be kind to yourself. Learning a language is a journey. It's a marathon, not a sprint. There will be days when you feel like you're not making any progress.
We've all had those days. You feel stuck on a plateau, but you have to trust the process. Every minute you spend listening is a seed you're planting. You might not see the tree grow overnight, but trust me, the roots are getting stronger.
That's a beautiful analogy, Olivia. And one day, you'll be in a conversation or watching a movie, and you'll suddenly realize, wow, I understood all of that, and it's the best feeling in the world.
It truly is. It's a testament to all the hard work and consistent effort you've put in. So, we really want to encourage all of you listening today. You can do this. You are capable of becoming a confident English listener and speaker.
Absolutely. Just start small, be consistent, and make it fun. Find that YouTube channel, that podcast, that TV show that makes you excited to listen. That's your secret weapon.
Well, I think that's a perfect place to wrap things up for today. We hope this conversation has been helpful and has given you some inspiration and practical tools to boost your daily listening practice.
We'd love to hear from you. What are your favorite things to listen to in English? Do you have any special tips that have worked for you? Let us know in the comment section on our YouTube channel. We read every single one.
We do. Your suggestions also help us decide on topics for future episodes. And of course, if you found this episode helpful, please consider subscribing to the Best English podcast so you don't miss our new conversations.
Thanks so much for spending this time with us today. Keep listening, keep practicing, and keep being awesome.
We'll talk to you in the next one. Bye for now.
Bye, everyone.